The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Salem Media of Hawaii.
Welcome to Hawaii Money Resource with financial advisor Marko Mijuskovic.
Marko Mijuskovic is registered representative and financial advisor of Park Avenue Securities LLC, 7 Hanover Square, New York, 10004, and at Wealth Strategy Partners, 677 Ala Moana Boulevard, Suite 720, Honolulu, Hawaii, 96813. This show is for informational purposes only. Individual risk tolerance and investment objectives must be reviewed prior to making any specific recommendations.
And now your host, Marko Mijuskovic.
Welcome back. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, senior partner at Wealth Strategy Partners, also certified exit planner. You are listening Hawaii Money Resource exclusively every Wednesday night, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. You can also hear us online, and you can stream live online at hawaiimoneyresource.com, hawaiimoneyresource.com. If you don't have old-fashioned radio, if you do, it's a 760 AM KGU 760 AM. You can dialing that frequency every Wednesday night, 5 to 6 p.m. and hear a lot about our businesses here in Hawaii. So what do we do? When we do have a guest like today, we try to pick their brain for 1 hour. We try to live through their experience and try to learn as much as we can. And of course, educate you out there listening. If you don't have a guest, we do talk about business planning and business exit planning. Try to help you grow your business so one day you can exit in style. So let's don't waste any more time. But before we dive in and introduce our guest today, I'm going to remind you, Business Exit Planning Hawaii.com is the website for you to go and learn a little bit more about how to prepare your business, how to do some asset protection, how to start and check out the business value of your current business, and much, much more. Business Exit Planning Hawaii.com. Don't forget, if you're a business owner, you're stuck and you don't know where to go, give us a call, 695-2102, 695-2102. And don't forget hawaiimoneyresource.com, our radio webpage with a lot of info, podcasts, and much more. Okay, enough with advertising. Let's go and introduce our guest today, Donna Schmidt. Donna is a good friend of mine. We know each other for a while already. Donna runs Urgent Care Hawaii, and Donna is a licensed clinical social worker. There you go. I got it. I'm reading the 4-letter over here. So, Donna, welcome to Hawaii Money Resource.
Thank you, Marko. It's great to be here, and thank you so much for having me.
Perfect. Donna, I know we're going to do a lot of good talking today. Before we start and learn a little bit about you, why don't you tell me, like 30 seconds elevator pitch, what do you do?
I am the owner and operator of Urgent Care Hawaii. We have 4 locations, and I started in 2011. We provide urgent medical services as an alternative to the ER in 4 locations on Oahu.
And why don't we mention those locations?
We have our flagship store or center in Pearl City. We just opened Kapolei, Kailua, and Waikiki.
Perfect. Donna, we're going to talk and learn everything about you and your business starting in the second segment. But before we go into that, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Who are you?
Well,
good question, right?
Yeah, I have a great story. How much time do I have to, just so I don't talk too much?
I will interrupt you.
Okay. So my passion and what I have my degrees in is social work. I started with home health in my social work. I went out and I did medical social work in home with people that were homebound, and that was in Atlanta, Georgia. When I came here to Hawaii, I took a job at Kahuku Hospital as their social work director. And out in Kahuku, they had a lot of healthcare issues of people aging in the community, and the spouses of these aging sugar plantation workers were going to work during the day and working at the hospital and working at the schools. So they really needed some help. We called Honolulu and said, let's bring some volunteer services out here, or, Catholic Charities or Queens. And they said, Donna, we can't come to Kahuku. And so I went to the state and got a contract to provide foster care for the elderly. And it started out in Kahuku, where we had caregivers that were trained to take care of two elders. So it was like taking care of mom and pop. And it was their neighbors. So the wife.
So this was in your past career, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to talk more about it in the second segment, but I want to learn a little bit about you personally.
Okay.
Who are you, Donna, personally?
Okay. Well, let's see. I was raised on the mainland in a blue-collar working town, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I was raised on a farm. I had horses, and we had a good time out there. So I've always had a heart of service, and working on a farm growing up, that's kind of what you did. You worked, and you had a good community. And so I moved to Atlanta in 1984, spent 12 years in Atlanta. That's where I got my bachelor's degree and did various kinds of work there, and went to Smith College School for Social Work to get a clinical social work degree. And after that, when I graduated, I got married and came to Hawaii, and we went to Maui. I'm Hapa, my mom's Korean, and so when we came to Hawaii, I was like, oh, we could live here.
Feels like home.
It did. It really did. And so that's how I got to Hawaii in 1997. And we've been here. It's been a really good decision. It's an amazing place to raise kids. I love it.
How come you never decided to go back?
Well, my daughter just left for college, and my son is going to be, my son will be leaving for college next year, and my daughter is in her junior year. So, raising the kids here, that wasn't really an option to leave. I always had this crazy thought that I would retire up at the farm. We have a family farm, but...
You change your mind. Maybe. That's okay.
We'll see.
That's
We'll
called
see.
life, right? You never know. You never know. So, Donna, what are you... you're a busy woman. You're running like 4 locations. Of course, you delegate a lot of your stuff, but how do you manage your personal time with your business, especially when you have children? Still at home.
You have to be really intentional about it. I have to be very intentional about it and make it a priority. And I really cherish the time that I have left, with my son at home. The last 3 years since my daughter left for college, I've had some really good, one-on-one time with my son. And it's just part of what makes me tick and part of what fuels me.
Do you kind of book the personal time on your calendar? Do you try to manage it that way, or what do you do?
It is as spontaneous as it can be, but there are events, family things, school functions, so we just kind of schedule around it. In that regard, it is scheduled, but when we have free time at home, we enjoy being with one another. And the spontaneous, unscheduled time is probably some of the best.
Is it easier to do it now, than before when you just started, or is it just as difficult as you used to be?
Well, before when they were younger, there was much more activity that we had to do, so it was a lot more stressful. And then once they start driving,
then it becomes easy.
It changes your life. Yeah.
Perfect. Question: what do you do for fun?
What do I do for fun? Let's see. I'm a huge sports fan, and so I do, I like when my daughter and folks were...
That's okay, go ahead.
Okay. When all my kids play sports, but I really like professional basketball and the NBA and football. So that's what I do during those seasons. And I do like the outdoors. I do when I can to get outside.
Have any hobbies?
I don't.
So it's okay, because a lot of time people say, no, I just work, and when I have time, spend time with family.
That's pretty much what I do.
Perfect. Donna Schmidt, Urgent Care Hawaii, Pearl City, Kapolei, Kailua, and Waikiki. You can find them at ucarehawaii.com, ucarehawaii.com. Donna, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about yourself personally. We're going to take our first break. Once we come back, we're going to have one more person joining us. Until then, stay tuned and we'll be right back.
.760 KGU.
Part of the Wall Street Business Network.
Did you just look down at your phone? You did it again, didn't you? You know, you're flying down the road in a 3-ton hunk of steel, and a text takes your eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's long enough to travel the length of a football field and cause some serious damage. Turn it off. Trust me, whatever it is, you'll live.
Learn more at StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Peter Herrick was a 34-year-old carpenter when he joined the Navy Reserve. Peter's wife, Diana.
They were deployed to build schools and bases and to assist the Marines.
When the mortar round hit, I was completely knocked out. I didn't wake up until 6 days later.
Paralyzed veteran, Senior National Service Officer Raymond Bruce.
I saw Pete when he was at his worst. He didn't know if he was going to live to be able to see his daughter graduate from high school.
Raymond knew that I needed help figuring out where do we go from here.
We not only represent the veteran, but we represent the whole family.
11 months we stayed in the hospital down in Tampa.
We advocate, we educate, and we process claims through the VA, and we follow that claim from the beginning to the end.
Without Paralyzed Veterans of America, I really honestly believe I'd still be in the hospital.
You can help our paralyzed veterans. To learn more, visit pva.org, a public service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
Once upon a time, there was a business owner who worked hard and watched his company flourish. Then came the time to sell his company and retire in Palm Beach. But the path to his happily ever after was full of pitfalls and monstrous taxes. Whatever was he to do?
It's not a fairy tale, and the wrong strategy can deprive you of a storybook ending. I'm Marko Mijuskovic, and I know about business valuation. I'm also a specialist in business exit, asset protection, and estate planning. Visit my website, businessexitplanninghawaii.com, and I promise you'll find more than just a trail of breadcrumbs.
BusinessExitPlanningHawaii.com is an online resource designed to help you prepare for the final stage of your business's life cycle. At BusinessExitPlanningHawaii.com, you'll have no trouble at all finding workshops, podcasts, videos, articles, and more. Your happily ever after is just a click away at BusinessExitPlanningHawaii.com.
You're listening to Marko Mijuskovic on AM 760. More than 4,000 other listeners tune in daily to hear Marko talk about investment strategies and his new area of expertise, business exit planning. If you're ready to take it to the next level, Mr. Mijuskovic invites you to attend one of his complimentary seminars. Each month, he offers a seminar for business owners interested in business exit planning. For everybody else, he offers a second seminar on investment strategies. Either way, you'll get such a wealth of information that I'm going to attend one right now. For information on how you can attend, visit HawaiiMoneyResource.com. The lawyers can take it from here.
Registered representative and financial advisor of Park Avenue Securities, LLC, PAS, OSJ 7 Hanover Square, New York, 10004, 1-888-600-4667. Securities products and advisory services offered through PAS member FINRA SIPC, financial representative of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, Guardian, New York, New York. PAS is an indirect wholly owned subsidiary of Guardian. Wealth Strategy Partners, LLC is not an affiliate or subsidiary of PAS or Guardian. 2014-16224, expiration 1/2017.
You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource with financial advisor Marko Mijuskovic. If you'd like to speak to Marko, either on the air or after the show, call toll-free from Oahu and the outer islands, 877-695-2102. That's 877-695-2102.
Welcome back. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, senior partner at Wealth Strategy Partners, also certified exit planner. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource every Wednesday night, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. You can also find us online, hawaiimoneyresource.com, hawaiimoneyresource.com. So if you miss our show by any chance, don't worry. You can always go online and download the podcast, hawaiimoneyresource.com. Very well. Today, we have a guest. Actually, we have two guests now. We have a guest are multiplying. We have Donna Schmidt from Urgent Care Hawaii, Pearl City, Kapolei, Kailua, and Waikiki. And just right now, the second, Pantea Shoja joined us. Pani is MD, and she is also medical director.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Welcome to Hawaii Money Resource. Perfect. Donna, again, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about yourself personally. I always learn something new. Why don't we go down the memory lane and kind of like see how this all started?
Okay.
You know, so that story from the first segment, now you can continue.
Okay. Well, the elder care business led me into doing the urgent care. We had, when I sold that company, we had 200 patients living in the community that would otherwise be living in nursing homes. So they qualified to be in a nursing home. There were no nursing home beds, or they chose to live in the community. And their primary care physicians, were their primary care physicians. And on nights and weekends when the patients were not feeling well, vomiting, fell down, call the doc, and it was always take them to the ER. That was the standard protocol, was to take them to the ER. And from our perspective, it was very expensive because our team had to go out and do a lot of extra work, and the nurses had to go out and do a lot of medication reconciliation, and the caregivers had to spend all this time in the ER, and they had another patient at home. So it was just not a functional system for us. So I thought we really need an urgent care here. We need a high acuity urgent care. We just don't have them on the west side. And so I started the research in 2009. And put together a business plan, went to startup workshops, did my homework, and the hardest part for me was getting money from the bank.
To start a business, right?
And I was really fortunate that we looked at a space, the Hawaii USA Credit Union, and they said, we will fund, the build-out. We'll loan you the money to do the build-out there, because they wanted a medical anchor in that building. So it was just really, a real neat thing that allowed me to get started, and then the rest of the funding I was able to get.
When was this again?
We opened in November 2011.
So this is the Pearl City, right?
Yeah.
Pearl City location started in 2011. What was the time frame from the moment you kind of realized, this looks like some business idea that maybe I can put in works, and maybe I should do my own business and start urgent care? How long it took from the moment the light bulb went off to the moment that you kind of start,
I would say
exploring?
18 to 24 months, from the time that the light bulb went off until the time that I took it, that I opened. But I had to really think if I was going to take it seriously or not. And
So what it made what happened so you kind of say, okay, this is it, I'm doing it?
I went to the
Who pissed you off?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah, sure. This is why we're here. We asked this.
It was when there was a whole shakeup with Medicaid, and the aged, blind, disabled were being that was being carved out, and the state used to run it, and then they had commercial plans come in and buy it, and now they operate it, and that would be Ohana and United. At that time, it was Evercare, and they kept saying that it was more expensive to keep our patients in the community because of the emergency room visits. And our caregivers, they got paid less than $1 an hour for the work they did. They got very little money for, they're taking care of someone 24/7. And the nursing home beds are, $10,000, $12,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way. So they ticked me off, and I said,
"Well, say I'm doing it."
Yeah, because they said it was the ER. They said we were driving up the cost because of our use of the ER. I'm like, all right, well, we'll take care of that. And so, I went to the startup clinic, and the Urgent Care Association of America is very, very supportive. They're an amazing organization, do really good lobbying, and Urgent Care is very well positioned for investors and in the healthcare market. It's probably the only thing that investors are investing in right now is urgent care. And we're very well positioned for the future. As the millennials and the next generation comes up and they want a different type of relationship with their physician. They want to control it. They want to come in when they want to come in. So we're very well positioned in that regard. And when I opened in 2011, it was November 2011, and December 2011, there was a very dramatic thing that happened here. Hawaii Medical Center West and downtown turned their lights off. Mm-hmm. We lost 2 emergency rooms less than a month after I opened. And I tell you, I felt like Noah building the ark, because who knew? Who would ever believe that the lights were going to get turned off? And then, people had nowhere to go on the west side. There was no emergency room. They were being, heart attack was being transported to Kuakini. Now, we don't take care of heart attacks, but we really alleviated. Oh, we also had polymomy out there, excuse me. But we had we were alleviating the emergency room for the things that didn't need to be there.
So was that a good thing or bad thing for you?
It was awesome. It was awesome. We were, because the urgent care, we had emergency room docs hired to work it. We were an alternative to the emergency room. And all those people that had nowhere to go out there on the west side. And Polymomy had turned its cafeteria into part of the ER. Because it was so overflowing. Yeah, because the volume just went up crazy.
And that's, I guess, it was just a pure luck, right? You didn't anticipate any of this happening.
Yeah.
Even though it was like in the news and people were talking about a potential that might happen. They did
that for years. They talked about, the hospital being in financial trouble for years. Nobody ever believed. It was, benevolent. The nuns, were, kind of involved with it. So to turn your lights out and to evacuate the hospital. And they had very sick people that were there pretty much living there, that they couldn't find placement in nursing homes or community-based settings.
So I guess lucky, sort of.
Yeah.
Sort of lucky.
No. It was, I call it divine intervention. I call it, just divine guidance. Sorry. I'm not a religious person, but...
Sometimes.
Yeah.
That's good. When you started urgent care, I can just imagine the amount of illegal stuff that you need to go through. Piles and piles of papers. Tell me about that nightmare.
Wow, my learning curve was so steep. Being a social worker, really coming from a place of serving, dealing always with the elderly, coming in and managing this, a very steep learning curve. I got the right people to work with. The heaviest part of the paperwork was the contracting with the credentialing and contracting with the insurance companies. And that was really the biggest part. And then understanding how that revenue stream works. The revenue cycle management in healthcare is very different than any other industry. And so learning that and understanding that. The legal piece of it, we are considered like a doctor's office right now. We can, urgent care is, a physician can open up a practice, and they really consider us a private practice with expanded hours, but we are specialists. We're not primary care. So it was, that piece of it wasn't difficult, setting up the corporate structure, working with good people on the malpractice. And, you just got to surround yourself with people that know exactly what they're doing and begin to trust them.
So who was helping you in the beginning? What was your team, if you had one? Or it was yourself?
Vladdy was a big part of my team. He definitely got me talking to the right people. And do you want me to name the people that I worked with?
No, you can just...
The accountant.
Right.
The CPA was really critical in helping us to set up the books and how to track things. I didn't have a real inroad to the payers. But I did get a mentor that owned about 6 urgent cares in Texas.
Okay.
And he had a board where a group of us from all over the country would get together quarterly. We'd bring our numbers and,
from the same industry but different locations.
Urgent care, all over the country. And then we all talked about what was happening in the industry and the struggles that we were having, and we learned from one another. I did that for almost, I think, 3 years. And then I joined a local executive group.
So I guess you needed to have a business plan. Am I correct?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And when you started, like, what did you decide? Like, I'm going to put all of my savings into it, or you had some initial financing from the bank? Both?
Both. We had what we were going to make as our initial investment, and we went to, like I said, the Hawaii USA, our landlord, funded the build-out. That's the biggest expense, is that build-out. The equipment we were able to lease, and then we had the operating capital, which we had a line of credit for. And that's really what got us started.
So, Donna, now, when you know what you know, will you do it again?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And what you will do differently?
Oh, my goodness. There are a lot of things I would do differently. I will absolutely do it again, but, I'd learn as I go. It was so funny when you first start. I just was like, I got a contract from an insurance company. It was like, oh, they gave me a contract, and I just signed contracts. I didn't,
read it.
Really negotiate that. These rates aren't very good. I was just so happy that they were giving me contracts. So that was one thing. I would definitely negotiate the contracts, and we're in that process right now of renegotiating some of the payers that we'd like to get a higher rate for, and really just market rate, nothing outrageous, and. Definitely looking, this latest expansion that we just did, I did 3 centers. Within 6 months, we opened 3 centers, and I would do that differently. It takes a lot of bandwidth to do that. And we can talk about that later about where we are right now. Yeah, we're going to talk about it in next segment, yeah. Definitely, I would not go so far so fast. But because it was an acquisition, it was just kind of the way. If I could have negotiated that where I took on one at a time, I would have done that. Right,
sometimes you really don't have a choice. You just need to dive into it and then adapt.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So, Donna, were you scared when you started?
I was scared when the cash flow wasn't coming in because of credentialing issues and the billing company. I mean, billing company is vital, critical, because they manage, all of your billing, and they had some real financial problems and just didn't do a good job for me. And so our cash got really tight. So I was really scared. And that's when I went and found somebody, the mentor that I found in Texas. He took over on my billing, and we still use them today, and they cleaned it up very quickly. And I tell them all the time, you saved my company, because that's so vital and critical, that cash flow. And I selected a company in that regard that I didn't realize had some financial issues, and they didn't do a good job for me, and it really impacted us.
So the question is, like, when you started, like, it took, what you say, 18 to 24 months before you even just start building the first location. So how did you feel when you did a grand opening and then the first patient walking through the door?
It was amazing.
Were you there?
Oh yeah, it was amazing, and we were all very happy. She was very happy, and it was just, I can't even tell you how grateful I was, how proud we were, and it was just very, very exciting. After the first patient walked in the door, there were a couple of days, or quite a number of days, when nobody came in the door. And that's when I was scared again.
One came in, that's it.
They didn't just flock to us. Yeah.
Right. It takes some time. Okay, so why don't we take our next break? Today's guest is Donna Schmidt. Donna is owner and operator of Urgent Care Hawaii. And we also have Pantea Shoja, a medical director for Urgent Care Hawaii. Urgent Care Hawaii, you can find them online, ucarehi.com, Pearl City, Kapolei, Kailua, and Waikiki. My name is Marko Mijuskovic. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
760 KGU.
Part of the Wall Street Business Network.
You've gone to protests, written letters, even considered chaining yourself to a tree. But saving the world is not easy at all. Fortunately, saving a life is. And when you donate 1 pint of blood, you can save up to 3 lives. Visit bloodsaves.com to learn more.
Chris, can you put the video game controller down for a second?
I can talk and play. Oh, I'm totally annihilating this punk kid in Nebraska.
I just feel like you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
Well, you still ride your skateboard to work, there's the comic book collection, the race car bed.
Look, I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I picked up a few savings tips at feedthepig.org. I have control over my financial life now, and that feels pretty grown up.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. For free ideas and easy tips on ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
So, I bet I look like a grown-up to you now.
Well, except for the footy pajamas, I'd have to agree.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, the Hawaii Society of CPAs, and the Ad Council.
How would you like to work in the world of finance? Wealth Strategy Partners is considering smart, motivated financial associates. You will have the potential to earn competitive earnings while providing a necessary service to the community. Furthermore, when you join Wealth Strategy Partners, you will be eligible to receive a full benefits package, including insurance, a pension plan, and more. If you enjoy working with people and have an interest in making a difference in people's lives, contact Wealth Strategy Partners, 695-2102. That's 695-2102. Make the call that could change your life. 695-2102. Join Wealth Strategy Partners, 695-2102.
Registered representative and financial advisor of Park Avenue Securities, LLC, abbreviated PAS, 7 Hanover Square, New York, 10004. Securities, products, or services and advisory services are offered through PAS, a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, 888-600-4667. PAS is a member of FINRA SIPC.
You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource with financial advisor Marko Mijuskovic. If you'd like to speak to Marko, either on the air or after the show, call toll-free from Oahu and the Outer Islands, 877-695-2102. That's 877-695-2102.
Welcome back. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, Senior Partner at Wealth Strategy Partners, also Certified Exit Planner, and you are listening to Hawaii Money Resource every Wednesday night, 5 to 6 p.m., right around the time when you're stuck in traffic going home. You can dial in 7:60 a.m. and you can listen to another amazing story of the local business that is working and thriving and is successful. So today's guest is Donna Schmidt, Urgent Care Hawaii, Pearl City, Kapolei, Kailua, and Waikiki. And we also have a medical director from Urgent Care Hawaii, Pantea Shoja. Donna and Pani, now we're going to have you both probably in this segment talking. Donna, a good story. I appreciate you sharing a little bit about us. So from the moment you opened the door in 2011, all the way to this point, Urgent Care grew from Pearl City location to now having a Kapolei, Kailua, Waikiki, and Pearl City. Mm-hmm. Is this the only Urgent Care in State of Hawaii that has 4 locations? Or there is other ones?
No, that's us. They have the minute clinics, but we're very different from a minute clinic because we have physicians and we do high acuity. We're a true alternative to the emergency room. So, yeah, the 4 locations, we're the only one.
So I'll say, is it humble to say that you're the largest one?
Yes.
Very good. Perfect. So why don't you tell us a little bit what's the difference between how was it in 2011 and how is it right now?
Wow. We have evolved, and the big part of it is the community that we are in Pearl City. They really know us. We have become an integral part of that community. And so we're involved in the schools. We do
fundraisings.
Yeah. And, we're any way that we can serve. We're in the farmers market. We do a lot of community education. So in Pearl City, we just really are part of that community, and we really feel like we are the community health center. And so when we were working probably 2 years ago, we really heard that there was a need for worker comp services. We had a lot of first injuries on the job that came in, and we took care of them, but they wanted to come back for follow-up. So we began to do our worker comp, and we partnered with the employers. We really wanted to get people back to work. ER docs were like, I don't want to take care of somebody for a long time. I want them to get well and get back to work. And so we really came out of the gate with a good worker comp program and turned into now a vital part of our organization that is our employer-paid services. So we do drug testing, we do DOT physicals, respiratory fit tests, anything that an employer needs relative to health, immunizations, heavy metal blood testing, all kinds of things that you wouldn't think about that they need, we offer that.
So what employer do? They contact you and set up like, hey, I'm going to have a group of 20 employees coming to you, or what is the process?
Once they come in and, we establish that relationship, we set up what's called a corporate protocol. And it loads into our EMR, our electronic medical record system. So that employer can say, when somebody comes in with a injury on the job, I want a drug test, I want a blood alcohol test, and I want these 3 things, I want it emailed to this person. So we have that corporate protocol in there. There's no questions asked. We know exactly what that employer wants for his employee. They come in with an authorization, so it's just like an order form. They print it off the internet, or they have it, on file, and
You're talking about employees coming.
The employer will say, I need a drug test for this person, or I need a respiratory fit. So then, and they authorize it. So we know who the authorized signers are in the organization. We make it really easy. We really partner with them in a way that makes it easy for them. And occupational medicine, it's really bumpy because everybody does it differently. However, we're going to launch in early next year. We're going to launch the employer portal, which allows all of this email and faxing and that kind of a thing.
So they
the employer
online.
Can just go right online before the person walks out the door. They can go in and see what the drug test said. So we're really excited about launching that. We'll do that in early next year.
So, last question before we involve Pani into the conversation. Like, you were running a Pearl City, and you were, doing all kind of good stuff. You guys were doing it together, of course, right? So, why did you decide that, to take this opportunity of acquisition of another urgent care and expand the operation?
I had a vision.
What happened?
Well, I get these kind of inspirations, like I said before, and I had an inspiration that I'm going to do 5 and 5, which was 5 urgent care centers by 2019. And I had some folks that were kind of holding my feet to the fire on that. This opportunity came up, and we felt like it was an opportunity to do an expansion, do it quickly, and build out and serve, a lot of the whole island of Oahu. There's still a couple of pockets that need urgent care services, but we have a really far reach right now, and it felt like it matched who we are, what we do, and the employer services. A lot of people would always ask, "Are you here? When are you coming to Kapolei?" That kind of a thing. So it was a good opportunity, and we just took advantage of it.
And I understand, Pani, you were with Urgent Care Hawaii since 2013, right?
Yes, correct.
And then since this acquisition happened, I guess it was promoted within the ranks?
Yeah, correct. So I moved to Hawaii in 2013, and that's when I first met Donna. I met her when she had the urgent care in Pearl City, and she was such a strong character. She had a vision, she had a dream, and I could tell from then if she wanted something, she was going to make it happen.
There's no no as an answer, right?
And so I signed on with her at that point, and I worked as a physician at the Pearl City location since then. When Donna made her mind up, to expand, I came on as medical director just because, of the previous experiences that I've had in Arizona. I worked as a primary care and urgent care specialist for several years before transitioning out to Hawaii. And one of the things that I noticed right away was that Hawaii didn't really have a network of urgent care facilities. And so coming on with Donna and her group, I knew that this is the direction that she was going to take this company in.
So now, like, tell me a little bit, what are you dealing on a daily basis when it comes to 4 different locations, and they're, from Kapolei all the way to Waikiki?
Sure. Well, it's really fun. I get to drive around the island all week, which is one of my favorite things to do. It's such a beautiful place. Sightseeing all day. Don't tell Donna.
Okay.
So I get to work very closely with our lead staff at each of our clinics. We have our clinical directors, which are physicians, and then we have our medical assistants, and they have leads at each center. On a daily basis, just operating at that capacity, we run into problems, minor problems, and I get to help address those, and that's one of the things that I actually like to do, problem solving.
Troubleshooting, right?
Yeah.
Good. And, like, Donna, I understand the magnitude right now. Instead of one location, it's very easy, simple. I mean, it's not easy, but after a number of years running one location become easier. Now you have 4, and you need to kind of juggle 4 balls instead of 1. What do you see as a major problem right now? Major issue or obstacle in your everyday operation?
We're our ramp up, which is just increasing our numbers, our volume, has ramped up a lot slower than I anticipated. And one of the big reasons that has happened is every community that we are in is so different. Waikiki is so different than Kapolei, and Kailua is so different from either of the other communities. So the marketing approach and the outreach is really the biggest challenge, is that we capture the community, we find out where the community is, and get them to know us.
So getting the word out, right?
In building relationships, yes, that has been a challenge right now. Was that your question?
Yes, that's exactly the question. And then, who is the right people that you actually use the urgent care?
Everyone.
Who is your target market from the business point of view?
From the business point of view, we're looking at 25 to 50-year-olds with families, intergenerational families that are working, insured. And down in Waikiki, we're targeting the tourist market.
So I'll tell you my experience, and this is before I knew you. I'm getting tired of calling a doctor for my kids, and that doctor is always on vacation, and we always need to play by his hours versus our hours and our time. And I find urgent care very helpful just because I don't want to wait, and I want to walk in and I want to walk out. Right? Does this make sense?
Absolutely. And, to what Donna just said, we do get a lot of people that come in as families. So we'll have 4 or 5 member families come in and they'll all check in as a patient. And the nice thing is it's a one-stop shop. You all get to get seen. You get your prescriptions, you pick up, you go home, you're done. There's no appointments, walk-in basis, first come, first serve. Although we are initiating something called a Zip Pass at our Pearl City location, soon to also affect the satellite locations, where you can reserve a spot in line. So you don't have to wait at the urgent care. You can wait at home and then come in when it's your time to get seen by the doctor.
Book yourself in when it's your convenient.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I think it's just the mentality of the people. I don't know on the mainland, but here in Hawaii, everybody like to have their own personal doctor that they have a relationship with. But, okay, when I need something, I cannot wait for that doctor. And, I honestly don't need to build a relationship with the doctor because, they all should know what is wrong with me, right?
We would hope so.
I hope so, because and it's just me saying that. I don't need to be a friend with my doctor, drink beer, and build a relationship. I just need to go in and get myself fixed.
And Marko, it's interesting that you say that because that's what we're there for, But the interesting part of this is that we have so many repeat patients, and we have so many patients that ask our providers, hey, can you be my primary doctor? Can I come back here? And so the nice side is that we still get to build a relationship because we'll see you back.
Right, because they don't need to wait for. At least they don't need to wait for me. And this kind of thinking, and my personal opinion, was built because of my children. I have 2 children, and when they have something, I cannot wait for their doctor, and that's why where I was aggravated. The urgent care was perfect.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we see that a lot. We have families that come in and we'll have, baby number 1 that fell and, hurt her toe, and baby number 2 that just has a fever, and we can do it all.
Perfect. Donna, what is the process when the people walk in the urgent care? Or maybe I can ask you both, so whoever want to answer that.
Yeah.
I'll do the front desk and you do the back end.
Sure,
yeah?
sounds good.
So when they come in, if they haven't been there before, they just give the insurance card and driver's license. They fill out the forms, of course, and they get in the system. If you've been there before, you just give your name and birth date and you're in. So
you're in the system.
Yeah, it's really easy for them. They get on the board, and it tracks back to the back end where they can see how many people are in the waiting room and, who's next in line, and they put them in the rooms that we have there. If someone doesn't have insurance or if we can't verify their insurance, there's a number of different ways that you can pay. And we do accept all insurances. I think we might be the only urgent care that accepts Quest. But,
is it maybe a misperception that people still think that urgent care may be like different pricing, that they might have like a different cost and might be costing them more out of pocket?
Yeah, it is, and people think it's like a club. So we have to really educate folks that it is for everybody.
But it's not. That's what I'm trying to say. It's you walk in, there is no different things than like going to the regular doctor.
Well, you walk in and you get seen and you're in and out within an hour without an appointment, so that's the big difference from the regular doctor. But other than that,
still accepting all the insurances, so everything works the same, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about the back end?
So from the back end, once the patient is checked in and in our system, a very friendly medical assistant will come up and call the patient. They'll take them back. First, they'll take the patient's weight, and then they'll put you in a room and take your vitals, which means they'll check your blood pressure, your temperature, your heart rate, and your oxygen levels. At that point, they will say, get a little patient history from you, medical history. If you have any medical conditions, we'd like to know. Drugs, allergies are very important for us, and medication lists, any medications that a patient's currently taking. If the patient doesn't know, which does happen, we would be happy to call your primary doctor or your pharmacy to find out on our end. And after that, the patient generally waits about a few minutes, and then the provider comes in and starts the medical visit. If patients need x-ray, we have x-ray on site at Pearl City. We can do that there. If they need blood work, we'll draw blood at our clinics and send them out. And we usually get stat results back the same day, which is really convenient for the patients. And we also have a variety of in-office rapid tests to test for things like influenza, strep, mono, and other infections that we can do on site as well.
Perfect. I hope just people are listening and learning that actually urgent care is not something scary. You should definitely go and check it out. So Urgent Care Hawaii today, Donna Schmidt and Pantea Shoja with us in the studio. You can find them online, ucarehi.com, and you can probably learn about all of their locations and how the best, hours of operations, maybe something we can mention.
Sure. Pearl City is open 7 days a week, 7 a to 7 p. Monday through Friday, and 8 to 6 on Saturday, Sunday. The new centers are open just Monday through Friday. In December, we're going to start opening Kapolei on Sundays and Kailua on Saturdays. And Waikiki has shorter hours because it's just not real busy down there, so they're 9 to 5. Monday through Friday. So the hours vary, so please check the website and you'll know, and they are going to be continuing to expand and change.
Perfect. Why don't we take our last break, and after that we're going to wrap up today's show with our 3 questions, so stay tuned and we'll be right back.
.760 KGU.
Part of the Wall Street Business Network.
Hey, sweetie, what's going on?
Well, honey, I have some news.
Okay, what?
All that training paid off. I got the job.
Oh, I knew you would get it. So when do you start?
When you donate stuff to Goodwill, you help provide job training for people right here in your community. Goodwill. Donate stuff. Create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
We all want to retire someday, but how will you afford it? Marko Mijuskovic here, financial advisor for Wealth Strategy Partners. Times are tough, but nothing brings comfort and security like having a financial strategy. Some financial strategies can be complicated. All those numbers and percentage points. It makes your head spin. But that's why I created an easier to understand system called Retirement Income Timeline. Let me analyze your situation using my retirement income timeline. and I'll show you how you may be able to turn your money worries of today into a stress-free retirement of tomorrow. It's easy. Just call me and I'll assist you. Get your personal retirement income timeline by me, Marko Mijuskovic, today. Call 695-2102, 695-2102.
Registered representative and financial advisor of Park Avenue Securities, LLC, abbreviated PAS, 7 Hanover Square, New York, New York, 10004. Securities products or services and advisory services are offered through PAS, a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor. 888-600-4667. PAS is a member FINRA SIPC.
Achieving personal financial success can be complicated. Marko Mijuskovic can make it simpler. That's something very good to know in a world where the wrong financial decisions can be all too costly. Marko Mijuskovic, Vice President of Wealth Strategy Partners, has been helping people in Hawaii successfully organize and plan their finances for years. Marko uses an holistic approach to help you balance your current financial obligations as well as your future concerns. And he does this while keeping things simple. Organizing your finances is serious business, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Find out how Marko can help you make smart, informed decisions about your financial future. Call him and schedule your complimentary session and tell him your story. He's there to listen. The toll-free number to call is 877-695-2102. That's 877-695-2102. 877-695-2102. Marko Mijuskovic. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource with financial advisor Marko Mijuskovic. If you'd like to speak to Marko, either on the air or after the show, call toll-free from Oahu and the Outer Islands, 877-695-2102. That's 877-695-2102.
Welcome back. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, Senior Partner at Wealth Strategy Partners, also Certified Exit Planner. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource every Wednesday night, 5 to 6 p.m. Don't forget to check us online, hawaiimoneyresource.com. And don't forget to check our website for business exit planning, businessexitplanninghawaii.com. Okay, very good. Today's guest, Donna Schmidt, owner and operator of Urgent Care Hawaii. And we have Pantea Shoja, MD, and also medical director. Both with us in studio today sharing wisdom. Urgent Care Hawaii is the name of the business today. So, Donna, we have 3.5 minutes left. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions. First question is going to be, what is the future for Urgent Care Hawaii?
We want to continue to expand, and our vision is to get outer island and have at least one center on the outer islands each. So we're continued expansion, continued
5 for 5, or is it going to be 8 for 5? 8
for 5. No,
centers by 2019. Okay, good. Second question, Donna, and this one you can spend maybe a minute on it if you want. The question is okay, so you're building all this with idea of what? What is your exit out of this business?
Our exit is to build a really strong network that's integrated well into the communities and to sell. Probably 5 years from here, which will bring us to 2021. Yeah, we'd like to sell to either a hospital system or a mainland company.
Is that doable, knowing what you know, what's going on in the mainland?
Oh, yeah. It's the biggest thing that's happening right now, like I said, in healthcare, is the acquisitions and the building of the urgent care network, and it's really where healthcare is going. So we're right on the front end. We're on the front end of that, and when the healthcare system catches up with their revenue stream, we'll be right there and positioned really well. So the exit strategy is to sell.
Very good. So the last question for today, and you have 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Now, when you know what you know, and being operator since 2011, and owning 4 different locations, Pearl City, Kapolei, Kailua, and Waikiki, what will be the word of wisdom for someone who is starting the business? Doesn't matter what kind, what industry, and what type. What will be your word of wisdom for someone like that?
There's 2 things. One is believe in yourself even when the storm is coming through. You got to have confidence and believe in yourself. You have to have faith in your vision, and you have to stay positive And the second thing is you got to surround yourself with people that are wise and are able to mentor you. That's what I've had to do, and that's what's really allowed me to get to where I am. Is the mentors that spend time with me and believed in me. So those would be the two things. And I guess one more little thing is listen to your mentors.
Listen to them from the day one, not when the problem arises only, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Donna, I really appreciate you both coming to our studio today and share about Urgent Care Hawaii and 4 locations that you guys have: Pearl City, Kapolei, Kailua, and Waikiki. And I think it was a great conversation, and I appreciate you guys, and I hope I see you soon when you guys hit more locations.
Great. Thanks, Marko. Thanks for having us.
Thanks
Perfect. Today's guests, Donna Schmidt and Pantea Shoja from Urgent Care Hawaii. You can find them online, ucarehawaii.com, ucarehi.com. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, Hawaii Money Resource. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
The Living Balance Sheet and the Living Balance Sheet logo are registered service marks of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, New York, New York. The graphics and text used herein are the exclusive property of Guardian and protected under U.S. and international copyright laws. Copyright 2005 to 2011. The Guardian Life Insurance Company of America. This show is for informational purposes only. Individual risk tolerance and investment objectives must be reviewed prior to making any specific recommendations. Marko Mijuskovic is a registered representative and financial advisor for Park Avenue Securities, LLC, 7 Hanover Square, New York, New York, 10004. Securities products, services, and advisory services are offered through Park Avenue Securities, a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor. 888-600-4667. Financial representative, the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, New York, New York. Park Avenue Securities is an indirect, wholly owned subsidiary of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America. Wealth Strategy Partners is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Park Avenue Securities or the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America. Park Avenue Securities is a member FINRA SIPC.